Welcome back to another explainer. So, if you've ever found your loyalties tested or, if you've ever had to stand your ground when everyone around you was heading in the exact opposite direction, you are definitely in the right place today. Okay, let's dive into this because we're looking at a piece of history that's just packed with profound implications. We're exploring the incredible account of a man named Zadok. He was a priest who faced an absolutely massive crisis of loyalty. We're going to break down exactly what went down, how Zadok handled the intense pressure, and, most importantly, what actionable lessons we can pull out for our own lives. Just start by asking yourself this. What would you actually do if your closest ally turned against your king? Really put yourself in those ancient sandals for a second. Imagine you've served alongside someone for years, right? You trust them completely, you look up to them, and then, out of nowhere, they're mixed up in a massive betrayal. Your whole world is flipped upside down, and suddenly you're forced to pick a side. Now, this isn't just some hypothetical thought experiment. This was the intense, very real reality for the guy we're talking about today.
Setting the stage, we arrive at Section 1, A Plot for the Throne, the Secret Coup of Adonijah.
And that brings us right to Section 2. Zadok chooses loyalty, standing firm in a crisis.
So, to really understand this crisis, we have to look at the power dynamics. King David is the reigning monarch, chosen by Jehovah. But behind the scenes, David's own son, Adonijah, is plotting this sneaky scheme to seize the throne. Now, when a coup like this goes down, the mastermind usually targets the heavy hitters, especially the religious leaders, and this brilliantly illustrates the agonizing split that took place. Think about it. On one hand, you have High Priest Abiathar. This guy held the highest religious office in the entire land. He should have been an absolute anchor of faithfulness. Yet, he chose to support Adonijah's treacherous scheme. Can you even imagine the shock? But then, in total contrast, you've got Zadok the priest. Despite the insane pressure, and honestly, despite seeing his own superior defect, Zadok remained resolutely loyal to Jehovah and to King David. He didn't just follow the crowd, and he certainly wasn't going to follow his boss into a rebellion.
That kind of steadfastness, it just doesn't go unnoticed. King David never doubted Zadok's loyalty. What an incredible statement. Right in the middle of a rebellion, when a king is usually, paranoid and wondering who he can actually trust, David looked at Zadok and had zero doubts. None. Zadok had built such a rock-solid track record of faithfulness to Jehovah that his loyalty to God's anointed king was an absolute given. He was literally a rock in a storm of betrayal.
But here is a super vital piece of the puzzle. Zadok didn't do this in a vacuum. He wasn't just standing all alone on some island of righteousness. Zadok had a strong support system. He had Nathan the prophet, he had Benaiah, he had a whole community of other loyal worshipers of Jehovah and supporters of King David. Being surrounded by these faithful friends must have deeply strengthened and encouraged him. Because let's be real, it's always so much easier to stand firm when you lock arms with others who share your exact same unwavering convictions.
This brings us to a huge turning point in the account. Section 3, Anointing the True King and the Failure of the Coup. When Adonijah's scheme was finally dragged into the light, David didn't panic. Not at all. He acted with swift divine authority. And who did he turn to in this critical hour? His most trusted loyalists. So the crucial point is captured right here in 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 39. Zadok the priest anointed Solomon. This is it, the triumphant peak of Zadok's loyalty. He wasn't just some bystander quietly disagreeing with the rebellion. He was the actual instrument used to establish the true king, the one Jehovah actually chose. By pouring that oil, Zadok publicly and definitively crushed the rebellion and honored God's arrangement.
And as we see, loyalty brings blessings. Once the dust finally settled and Solomon officially took the throne, actions had consequences. According to 1 Kings 2:35, Solomon appointed Zadok the priest in place of Abiathar. Abiathar's disloyalty literally cost him his privileged position, but Zadok's unwavering faithfulness, it was rewarded. He was elevated to the position of high priest. It's a beautiful historical conclusion for sure, but our explainer definitely doesn't stop in the past.
Let's do a hard pivot now from ancient history right to our modern reality. Section 4, Imitating Zadok Today, your personal test of loyalty.
The truth is, guys, the exact same dynamics of faithfulness and betrayal exist in our world right now, okay? We might not be dealing with ancient kings and literal thrones, but our loyalty to Jehovah is tested just as rigorously. So I really want to pose this question directly to you. How can you imitate Zadok? Think about a scenario where someone close to you, maybe someone you deeply respect, a close friend, or even a family member, makes the tragic choice to leave Jehovah. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? It's confusing. And much like Zadok watching High Priest Abiathar walk away, it forces you to make a really definitive choice about exactly where your allegiance lies.
Let's move to and see how this builds into practical, actionable steps for us today. First up, you have to make your choice clear, just as Joshua 24:15 reminds us. Don't straddle the fence. When a crisis of loyalty hits, your stance for Jehovah needs to be absolutely unambiguous. Second, rely on Jehovah through prayer. Look, you can't do this on your own strength. Jehovah will give you the courage you need, but you've got to ask for it. And third, look at what saved Zadok. Stay close to fellow loyal worshipers. Lean hard into your own spiritual support system. Surround yourself with modern-day Nathans and Benaiahs who will encourage you to stand firm.
Which leads us to our final section. Jehovah rewards your loyalty, the ultimate outcome.
If you take those steps, if you make your choice clear, pray for strength, and stay close to loyal ones, you are setting yourself up for a truly beautiful outcome. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that specific word used right there, treasures. 2 Samuel 22:26 shows us that Jehovah doesn't just, casually observe your faithfulness. He actively treasures your loyalty, and he will reward you for it. When you feel that deep pain of separation because someone else made a bad choice, always remember that your personal integrity is precious to the Creator of the universe.
So, are you willing to be the Zadok of your generation, holding fast to Jehovah no matter who else decides to walk away? It's a really powerful thought to reflect on. For more information, please visit jw.org. And hey, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon to get the notification for our next explainer. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay focused, stay loyal, and I will see you next time.